my dear friends and fellow seekers of enchantment. Tonight, we embark on a journey into the rich tapestry of fables and folklore, where the boundaries between reality and fantasy blur. As the day gracefully yields to the velvety embrace of night, and the stars sprinkle the heavens with their gentle radiance, allow your imagination to unfurl in the enchanting narrative of the Frog Prince. Picture, if you will, a realm of sprawling landscapes adorned with rolling hills and whispered secrets, a land where the boundaries between the mundane and the mystical blur into one. At the core of our story resides a captivating princess named Isabella, renowned throughout the kingdom for her striking beauty and her deep affinity for a glistening pond. But, as is often the case with destiny's hand, a seemingly insignificant incident sends ripples through the tranquil waters of her life. Join us as we follow the princess's journey from the heartache of losing her cherished golden ball to an unanticipated promise made to an improbable companion. A promise that sets in motion the enchanting tale of the Frog Prince. As we delve into the heart of this narrative, may you find within it the stirrings of compassion, the allure of metamorphosis, and the indomitable force of love, capable of shattering even the most stubborn of enchantments. Let the moonlight be your guide through the captivating narrative, and may it serve as a poignant reminder that genuine beauty transcends mere appearances. It resides within the kindness of one's heart. In The Frog Prince, we uncover the timeless motif of redemption and the inexorable victory of love over adversity, an enduring fable that resonates across generations. Thus, dear companions, as you embark on this nocturnal odyssey into the world of the Frog Prince and the Princess, may it inspire you, fill your hearts with wonder, and reignite the magic that only the realm of fairy tales can conjure. Until the dawn awakens you to new horizons, may your dreams be painted with stories of transformation and love. Sweet dreams. Once upon a time in a grand palace, nestled amidst rolling hills and surrounded by lush gardens, there lived a beautiful princess named Isabella. Her presence was a source of fascination for the entire kingdom, not only due to her striking beauty, but also for her kind and gentle heart. Her radiant smile could brighten even the gloomiest of days, and her laughter was like music that echoed through the palace halls. Isabella's favorite place in the entire kingdom was a serene pond located within the palace grounds. The pond's waters sparkled like 1,000 diamonds under the golden sun. It was here that she would spend countless hours, her raven black hair cascading like a waterfall down her back as she played with her most cherished possession, a golden ball as radiant as the sun itself. The golden ball was a gift from her father, the king, on her 5th birthday, and it had become her constant companion. Isabella loved to bounce it, toss it into the air, and watch it catch the light in dazzling patterns. The ball seemed to dance with her, reflecting the joy in her heart. One sunny afternoon, as Isabella was playing by the pond, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the surrounding trees. She felt a surge of energy and playfully threw her golden ball higher into the air than ever before. The ball arched gracefully over her head, glistening in the sunlight, and for a brief moment, it seemed as though it might touch the heavens. But fate had other plans. The ball, instead of descending gracefully into her waiting hands, seemed to have a mind of its own. It soared higher and higher, as if defying gravity itself, until it reached its zenith and began its descent. Isabella's heart raced as she watched the golden ball descend with increasing speed, but it was too late. With a resounding splash, the ball disappeared beneath the surface of the pond. Isabella gasped in dismay, her heart sinking like the ball into the depths of the water. She rushed to the edge of the pond, her eyes wide with shock as ripples spread from the point of impact. Her beloved golden ball, the symbol of her joy and happiness, was gone. Tears welled up in Isabella's eyes as she stood there, a sense of loss washing over her. She couldn't bear the thought of losing the precious gift from her father. The pond that had once been a source of solace and delight had now become a watery grave for her beloved ball. Isabella's cries of despair echoed through the palace gardens, and little did she know that this seemingly tragic event would set in motion a series of events that would change her life forever. Isabella cried out in frustration and began to weep, her tears falling like shimmering pearls into the pond. Her heartache was so profound that she didn't notice the rustling of lily pads nearby. Just then, she heard a deep, croaky voice say, "Why are you crying, dear princess?" Startled, Isabella turned her head, her tear-streaked eyes searching for the source of the voice. There, perched on a lily pad, was a large green frog, blinking its big, round eyes at her. Its skin glistened with a wet sheen, and its webbed feet were adorned with delicate water droplets. Through her tears, Isabella managed to say, "I've lost my golden ball in the pond, and it's gone forever. It was a gift from my father, the king, and it's the most precious thing in the world to me." The frog listened attentively, its eyes filled with empathy. Then, with a knowing smile, it replied, "Don't worry, dear princess. I can help you retrieve your golden ball from the depths of the pond. But in return for my assistance, I must ask for a promise. What will you give me in return?" Isabella's eyes widened with hope, her heart beating faster. She didn't hesitate, for the thought of regaining her cherished ball was too enticing to resist. "I promise you anything you desire," she declared, her voice filled with sincerity. The frog's lips curled into a satisfied smile, revealing glistening white teeth. "Very well," it croaked. "I shall retrieve your golden ball, and you shall keep your promise." With that, the frog leaped gracefully into the water, disappearing beneath the surface. Isabella watched in anticipation as bubbles rose to the water's surface, forming a shimmering trail. Moments later, the frog emerged, holding the golden ball in its webbed hand. Isabella's joy knew no bounds. She extended her trembling hand, her fingers brushing against the cold, damp skin of the frog as she retrieved her precious ball. Its golden surface gleamed, reflecting the pure happiness that surged within her heart. "Thank you, kind frog," Isabella exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with gratitude. She couldn't believe her fortune. Her golden ball, once lost to the depths, was now safely back in her possession. The frog nodded, its eyes radiating a mysterious wisdom. "Remember your promise, dear princess," it reminded her, before hopping back onto the lily pad, settling into the calm waters of the pond. Isabella, her heart filled with relief and gratitude, nodded in acknowledgement. She knew she had made a promise to the frog, and she intended to keep it. Little did she know that this promise would lead to a remarkable journey filled with unexpected adventures, tests of character, and a love that transcended appearances. Isabella's heart raced with excitement as she clutched her golden ball, her feet carrying her swiftly back towards the palace. The gleaming towers of her home beckoned her with the promise of safety and comfort. In her haste, she forgot about the promise she had made to the frog. As she reached the grand gates of the palace, they swung open to welcome her. The guards, seeing the princess in such high spirits, exchanged smiles and nods. Isabella's mind was now filled with thoughts of her warm chambers, her sumptuous meals, and the adoration of her parents, the king and queen. However, just as she was about to cross the threshold into the palace, a loud, echoing croak pierced the air behind her. Startled, she turned around, her eyes widening in surprise. There, with determination in its eyes, was the green frog, hopping towards her as quickly as its webbed feet would allow. "Wait!" the frog called out, its voice filled with urgency. "You promised, dear princess. You promised you would give me anything in return for the ball." Isabella, her annoyance evident, looked down at the frog, struggling to understand how it had followed her all the way from the pond. She huffed in exasperation, not expecting to see the frog again after she had fulfilled her end of the bargain. "You? What could you possibly want from a princess like me?" she retorted, her voice laced with impatience. The frog, undeterred by her tone, replied, "All I ask is that you allow me to be your companion, to eat with you, sleep by your side, and be treated with kindness and love." Isabella hesitated. She had made a promise, and as a princess, she knew the importance of keeping her word. However, the thought of a frog, with its slimy skin and croaky voice, sharing her luxurious life, was not something she had anticipated. Nonetheless, she couldn't bear the thought of breaking her promise. Swallowing her pride, she reached down and picked up the frog, who was now panting with exertion. Ignoring her initial feelings of annoyance, she cradled the frog in her hands and carried it across the threshold of the palace. The palace guards exchanged perplexed glances as they watched their beloved princess with a frog in her arms. Isabella, however, was determined to honor her promise, even if it meant sharing her royal life with an unexpected companion. As she walked further into the palace, she couldn't help but wonder how this unusual partnership would unfold and what adventures lay ahead. That evening, as the grand hall of the palace was adorned with golden chandeliers and adorned with the finest tapestries, Isabella sat at the head of a long dining table. She was dressed in her most exquisite gown, a cascade of satin and lace, as she dined on a feast fit for royalty. The rich aromas of roasted meats and fragrant spices filled the air, and servants moved gracefully, attending to her every need. By her side sat the frog, perched on a velvet cushion placed especially for him. In front of the frog, a small dish held a portion of the evening's delicacies. Isabella, while keeping her promise, had instructed the kitchen staff to prepare a meal suitable for a frog. As the princess dined on her sumptuous fare, she couldn't help but glance at the frog from time to time. Despite her initial revulsion at its appearance, she was amazed at its composure. It ate delicately, its webbed fingers picking at the food with surprising grace. Isabella's heart, which had once been filled with annoyance, now softened as she watched the frog. She was reminded of the promise she had made, a promise that had led to this unconventional dinner companion. As the days turned into weeks, something remarkable began to happen. The frog's skin, once rough and slimy, started to undergo a transformation. It began to soften, its green hue taking on a more radiant quality. Its webbed fingers became more delicate, resembling the graceful hands of a prince. Isabella watched in astonishment as the frog's physical form changed before her eyes. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the candlelight danced on the palace walls. The frog's transformation was complete. Before Isabella sat a handsome prince, his eyes filled with gratitude and warmth. He was dressed in princely attire, his appearance matching the nobility of his heart. Isabella, who had grown accustomed to the frog's company, was taken aback by the transformation. She gasped in amazement, her eyes wide with astonishment. You were a prince all along?" she stammered. The prince nodded, his voice now clear and resonant. "Yes, dear Isabella. I was cursed by an evil witch to live as a frog until a kind princess showed me love and compassion. Your promise and your kindness have broken the curse that bound me." Isabella's heart swelled with a mix of emotions: joy, wonder, and a growing fondness for the prince who had once been a frog. She realized that true beauty lay not only in appearances, but in the kindness of one's heart. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Isabella and the prince's companionship grew into a deep and abiding love. Their story of transformation and love became a cherished tale throughout the kingdom, a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected friendships and bonds can lead to the greatest of adventures and the purest forms of love. And so, the princess and the prince lived happily ever after in the grand palace, their love story serving as a timeless reminder of the power of kindness and the magic of true love. With the curse now broken and the handsome prince at her side, Isabella's palace and kingdom were filled with a newfound sense of joy and enchantment. The once green frog had become a charming and dashing prince who had captured the heart of the kingdom's beloved princess. As the days turned into months, the prince and Isabella's companionship deepened into a profound love. They spent their days exploring the palace gardens, riding through the picturesque countryside, and sharing stories of their pasts. Isabella found herself falling in love not only with the prince's handsome appearance, but also with his wisdom, kindness, and gentle spirit. It wasn't long before news of their love reached every corner of the kingdom. The people celebrated the union of their beloved princess and the once cursed prince, and preparations began for a grand wedding ceremony. The day of the royal wedding arrived, and the palace grounds were adorned with flowers of every hue. The sun bathed the kingdom in a golden glow as Isabella, resplendent in a gown of white satin and a jeweled crown upon her dark tresses, walked down the aisle. At the altar stood the prince, waiting with a smile that radiated love. The ceremony was a spectacle of grandeur and elegance, attended by nobles from neighboring kingdoms and commoners who had traveled from far and wide to witness the union of their beloved princess. The kingdom rejoiced in the happiness of their ruler, and the air was filled with music, laughter, and the sweet scent of blooming flowers. With vows exchanged and rings placed upon their fingers, Isabella and the prince were pronounced husband and wife. The kingdom erupted in cheers, and as they sealed their love with a kiss, it was as though the entire world shimmered with their happiness. Isabella and the prince's life together was filled with love, laughter, and adventures beyond their wildest dreams. They ruled the kingdom with wisdom and compassion, ensuring the prosperity and happiness of their subjects. Their love story, from the golden ball in the pond to the wedding ceremony in the palace gardens, became a beloved tale throughout the kingdom, passed down through generations as a reminder that true beauty lies not just in appearances, but in the kindness of one's heart. And so, the princess and the frog, now a prince, lived a life filled with love and happiness, proving that even the most unexpected beginnings can lead to the most magical and fulfilling journeys. Their love story remained etched in the hearts of all who heard it, a testament to the power of love, compassion, and the belief in happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.